Hi guys, Miss Jackson here. Guess what? Today is a Pete the Cat Day. Yay! We're gonna read a Pete the Cat book. This one is Pete the Cat and his 4 Groovy Buttons. And the art is by James Steen, who is the creator of Pete the Cat, and the story is by Eric Litwin. I think Eric does a lovely job with this story because it's about math. It is, and yet I still like it because I'm not really a math girl. Pete the Cat and his 4 Groovy Buttons. Pete the Cat put on his favorite shirt with his 4 big, colorful, round, groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much, he sang this song. Pete the Cat, he's cool. He's a cool cat. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Do you know? I'm waiting for your answer. There were 4. 1 popped off. And now there are 3. 4 minus 1 equals 3. Look at that cool cat with 3 buttons. Groovy. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? I'll give you a minute to think about that. There were 3. And one of them popped off and rolled away. How many are left? What do you say? 2. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. Ready? I want to hear it. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Pop! Oh no, not again. Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? There were 2. And one of them rolled away. Let's see if you're right. 1. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My button, my 1 groovy button. My button, my 1 groovy button. Pop! Oh no! The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? There was 1. And it popped off. 0. 1 minus 1 equals 0. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and... That's right, buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt. What do you think he saw? Huh? Can you guess? His belly button. And he kept on singing his song. Look how cute he is out there in the ocean. The shirt open because there's no buttons. It's all good. My button, still have my belly button. My button, still have my belly button. He's on his surfboard. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness, no. We keep on singing. Buttons come and buttons go. That is such a good little thing to think about too, that sometimes things break. Yesterday, I had this little tile that had a panda on it, and I had it sitting on my windowsill, and I pulled the drapes, and it fell and it broke. And at first I thought, do I want to cry about this? Because I really did like that tile. Or do I want to just put the pieces in the trash and go, buttons come and buttons go? That's probably a better choice. Yeah, things do break. Things wear out. Sometimes we get too old for things. When my daughter was cleaning her room the other day, all sorts of toys came out, and she's 16 and she doesn't play with them anymore. And so I just had to find kids who could like them, and that's okay. It's good to pass on something to a little brother or a little sister or maybe a cousin or a neighbor. Things that you don't play with anymore, but that you remember at one time you did play with and you really liked. You can say, as you're giving it away, buttons come and buttons go. And so, this is a good idea for today. Maybe you could clean out your room. Maybe you could find the things that you don't play with anymore and tell your mom or your dad that you're ready to let them go to somebody else. What do you think? You like that idea? I love you and I miss you. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. Hugs and kisses.